Hello and welcome, guys. Leon Street here, back in the house. How are you all doing? So today's topic and what I want to take you through, first of all, is why high value gives coaches an unfair advantage. And this has come about from, conversations. I've had these conversations with coaches, with consultants, with clients over the past 4 years. And it's still one of the recurring themes as to how people win, why people win, and really what you can do as a cultural consultant in terms of offering a high value or high ticket product or service in order to help you win. And one of the biggest things is there's a lot of people who live in this world of cheap, and cheap doesn't serve you best, especially when you're delivering coaching, some high value coaching, high value service, and you offer it for a cheap price. And there's a couple of things that happen. You either get taken advantage of by people who say, great, love what you're offering, I'm happy with the price, and then they want more than what you're really going to give them for that price. They want to take everything. They want to take you to the cleaners, as they say. And then number two, if it's not people who want to take advantage, the second part is that you have to scrap around to get lots of sales in order to increase your revenue. And that in itself can be very frustrating. It can hold you back. And that's what I just want to point out a couple of things today. So as I mentioned, you've got those two ways to look at high value. And the first thing that I want to look at is, what is high to you? So what is high to you? Because high value, if you're selling, let's say, per hour coaching, per session, and you're offering per session, and this is an example, but this is an example I come across quite often. Let's say you're offering coaching from 50 to 150 pound, which is like per hour. And I come across some people who offer that type of coaching, and they're like, wow. And then I say to them, you probably need to be near about 500 pound an hour. And they're like, you what? 500 pound an hour? That's ridiculous. I'm only charging, I don't know, 50, 100, 150. So my first question to you is, what is high to you? Yeah. So what's high value? Because in my world, there's different levels of high value. I've got experiences of some of my clients, like one client who sells $100,000 coaching program. In some people's minds, that might blow their minds. They may be thinking, how can anybody charge that for coaching? What you got to understand is what's involved, the niche, the level of that particular client, and how much impact or authority that person has to charge that rate in the first place. So what is high to you? So one of the big things is you got to look at pricing. So you might be in the kind of 1K as an example. Let's get that in, 1K to 10K bracket. You might be in the 10K to 20. Then you're going to move into, do that there, the 20K to 50K, and then you're going to have the 50K plus. There we are. So what is high to you? That's the first thing, because it's important that you understand that there are different levels, and there's going to be different levels based on market dynamics in terms of what the market will accept, who's already in the market selling at those prices. And if there are people in the market that are already selling at kind of a higher value, that will give you some indication that the market is accepting of those prices, so long as the shoe fits. And what I mean by that is, so long as you can either show the transformation that you help people to make, or the results that you've helped them to achieve in their life, in their business, depending on what kind of coach you are, if you're a life coach, business coach, executive transformation, all that kind of stuff. So you got to look at the market. What's the market saying? Which is the next part. So number two, so will the market accept? And as I said, look into the market, look at who is out there already, who's selling, because that's going to be an indicator to actually what is going to be high level in your industry, and also what is going to be acceptable, because not everything is going to be acceptable. So if the market will accept it, i.e. there's already people selling, this is an important step. Already people selling, that's going to give you the indicator. Market is already there. So what is the unfair advantage in all of this? So let's kind of take a look at this. Well, let's say you currently, I'm going to choose the example that I had here, this kind of £100 an hour coach. Let's say this person is in this kind of old mindset. They're going to be trying to sell coaching services per session. Let's say they sell 10. So that's going to give them 1,000. Yeah, so we're going to use this over here as the example. Yeah, so they're going to sell 10 sessions at £100, which is going to give them 1,000, so 1K. Now, in the 1K, they've got to take into consideration their time, any resources that they have to create or deliver, and then, you know, figure out what is the profitability of delivering those 10 sessions and making £1,000. So 10 sessions. Whereas what you can end up with is, what could I deliver as a high value program because of my authority, because of my positioning in the marketplace? And let's say a person delivers the same thing. Now, I'll use a different colored pen. Let's say you have another coach who delivers 10 sessions plus some other stuff as part of their offer, and that is 5K. Yeah. So the unfair advantage for a lot of people is going to be obvious to begin with. Yep. The obvious part is that obviously charging 5K because of the results and what is being promised from the coaching, therefore the marketplace is accepting of the high value as well, that now profitability wise, you've got coach 1, coach 2. Coach 2 is going to win. Unless they've got any crazy overheads or they've got a really fancy lifestyle, then obviously those things take them into consideration and the calculations aren't really going to match up. But ultimately, they're going to have an unfair advantage in terms of profit. Yeah. Now, profit is important. Why? Because when you get into running ads, let's say you have a marketing campaign. So marketing campaign. The difference now is that if I want to attract in a client as coach number 1 here, I'm going to have less money to play with. So therefore, let's say I run an ad campaign and I spend £500 to attract in a 1K client. That's going to leave me with £500 left. Take out the costs of time, and basically there's not going to be much money left in terms of profitability. Yeah. Let's say we do the same thing now with our ads, but we're running this for, so that's coach A. Now we're doing coach B. Let's say that they spend, let's even double it up. Let's say they spend £1,000, and off their £1,000, they can attract in 5K. They're going to be left with, you know, at least 4,000 to play with. Yeah. So the difference here is, and you know what, I'll use the green color just to indicate great. The difference is that there's definitely going to be profitability, but there is also another unfair advantage. When you go into the marketplace and you've already tested the marketplace may be looking for this little thing here. So step 4, the positioning piece. So if we take the example here of, let's say, Ford, BMW, and we'll go Bentley. These are all car brands and they're all in the same market. They're in the car, automobile, vehicle market, right? But each one has a different price. You've got cheap or average, medium, and high. Yeah. So if you think of these different brands as coaches, the other advantage that you can have in the marketplace is positioning because you are higher. And one of the biggest things that you will find is that with the right qualified people, you are at least going to attract these higher level prospects coming into your business. So what that means is you're definitely going to be in this position where profitability wise, you're going to have more cash in the bank. The reason being, not everybody is looking for the kind of average price, and not everybody is looking for even below this, which is going to be cheap. Yeah, I can't even think of a brand that's cheap. Is it like Dacia or Dacia? Yeah, something like that. You know, pick whatever you want. But there are cheaper brands than Ford. And Ford's actually a decent brand. That's why I said average, so it's not cheap. But with the high value, you're going to be in this position here where if you're positioned right in the marketplace, you've got the authority from whatever content you're putting out and things that you are marketing to people. This is where you're going to win as that high value coach. Now, here is the other thing. When you start to look at the prices, let's go back to my black marker. When you start to look at the prices, you can probably get a BMW for, let's say, 30,000 up to 50, which actually isn't too far off when we start to look at these prices here. Yeah, the Bentley, you can probably get a used one for around about 60 to 70,000. I'm saying used, but let's stick with new. For new, you're going to spend something like 130k up to, let's say, 200k. I'm going to keep it conservative. We're going to be in the same space now. That the difference is the multipliers. When you are high value and that you have the authority and you can show there's a reason why you can be high value. I'm not really getting concerned with whether or not you can be or you can't be. I'm just assuming that you are. When you are higher value, you're at least going to make some good money here, but you're going to make some fantastic money here as well. Yeah. So my point and what I'm coming back to is that there is going to be an allure. People are going to also be attracted to your high prices if you do have them, because it's going to be like, wow, you know, thinking of owning a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, that kind of thing. So people will be attracted to you because of that. But then there will be other people, let's say you have, you know, a couple of offers, you're still going to make decent money even if you come in at these types of levels as well. Now, what if your prices are actually less than this? I have showed you here, you've got the 10 to 20, by the way. What I would say to you is that you really need to focus on, if you are providing coaching, that your pricing needs to be, as an example, you know, and I say need, it's really down to, again, looking at the market and seeing who's already there. So I'm making assumptions here that the market will accept any pricing that you put into it. But realistically, for an 8 to 12 week or 8 to 10 week period, or even 6 to 10 weeks, you probably need to be priced around the £5,000 mark. So whether you're running workshops, events, direct coaching, you need to be around there, because what you don't want to do is put yourself under any stress in trying to attract people in. And actually, when you are lower, when you've got these kind of 50 to 150, or even if you're priced at around the 1,000, 2,000 mark, you're going to have to attract more people in order to make ends meet and to get that revenue level that you want to be at. Whereas if you were selling a £10,000 coaching program, as an example, or even a 5,000, it's going to make life that bit easier. So most of you, obviously watching this, are probably at the stage where you're floating around the six figures. And if you're less than that, obviously just take a look at pricing. Most of you have helped with pricing as well. But if you're stuck, if you're struggling, obviously, with where you go next and what to do, and you're floating around that six-figure mark, or you're, you know, just under or just over, and you're looking to step things up again, remember, just reach out to us, message me, message Adam, drop a comment below this video. I'd love to know your thoughts about high value, and if you think it has an unfair advantage for you, because I'm seeing the results for different people, including myself. But the important thing here is we're not going high value just because we say we want to be priced high. We're going high value because we have already seen people selling it. We know our self-worth and what the service offers because we have results. We have social proof to prove what we can do for people. And therefore, we can start to look at our pricing and put it out there and actually just make life that bit easier for us. You know, I think they say it's the top 5% who earn something like 100,000 or above $60,000 a year. the top 5%. So if you look at that, not many people are there. So join that top 5% and help yourself by not being cheap. Get the unfair advantage. It's Leon Street. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have an amazing day and rest of the week. Take care.